What if I told you the guy behind one of the most iconic tracks of the 90s wasn't just a one-hit wonder, but a fighter, a dreamer, and a story of reinvention that no one saw coming? That's right. We're talking about Vanilla Ice. The man who made the world stop, collaborate, and listen in 1990 with Ice Ice Baby. But his journey isn't just about a catchy hook or slick dance moves. This is a story that goes way deeper than the charts. It's about a kid who rose from hardship, fought through
In hot! Marty, we gotta get back to the 90s! Decade ever! We gotta go Ice live in concert!
He's back!
ridicule, and ultimately learn to own his identity and evolve in a world that's quick to label and even quicker to forget. So buckle up, because we're diving into the real story behind Vanilla Ice. The artist, the hustler, the survivor. Your wars, the roots, humble beginnings in a tough world. Vanilla Ice was born Robert Matthew Van Winkle on October 31, 1967, in Dallas, Texas. He never knew his biological father, and that absence created a feeling of displacement from early on. Growing up in a working-class neighborhood, life wasn't easy. His stepfather worked in the car business, which meant the family moved a lot. Robert often found himself the new kid, out of place, different, struggling to fit in. Music wasn't handed to him. It was hip-hop, a genre born from struggle and self-expression that gave him a voice. While most kids listened to classic rock or pop, Robert gravitated toward breakdancing and underground rap battles. He didn't care that he was one of the few white kids doing it. It wasn't about fitting in. It was about feeling something real. He earned the nickname Vanilla because he was the only white performer in his crew. The Ice came from his breakdancing skills. Together, Vanilla Ice was born, not from marketing, but in the gritty dance.
I used to own a rail for
Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights, I'll glow. To the extreme, I rock a mic like a fool. Light up a stage and wax a candle. Oh, rest and speak of that.
Circles of Dallas. Track his rhythm. The start of something bigger. Ice didn't just dance. He rapped, wrote lyrics, and trained relentlessly. He performed anywhere he could. Talent shows, street corners, clubs. Rejection stung, but he took it in stride because he had something to prove. He wasn't chasing fame. He loved the music. Talent alone doesn't get you noticed. You need timing, hustle, and one break. For Vanilla Ice, that moment came in the late 1980s. Performing at a South Dallas nightclub, his demo tape landed in the hands of a local DJ. The demo featured a track borrowing the bass line from Queen and David Bowie's Under Pressure. It was bold and unforgettable. The track? Ice Ice Baby. Initially released as a B-side. To a cover of Play That Funky Music, something unexpected happened. DJs flipped the record. Audiences couldn't get enough of that hypnotic beat and Ice's punchy flow. What started local exploded nationwide. The rise, stardom, scrutiny, and surprises. By 1990, Vanilla Ice became the first solo white rapper to top the Billboard Hot 100. Ice Ice Baby was more than a hit. It was a cultural moment. From MTV to school dances to late-night shows, the song was everywhere. His debut album, To the Extreme, sold over 15 million copies worldwide. Ice performed in sold-out arenas. Brands wanted him. Movie producers cast him. He was a household name overnight, but fame brought intense backlash. Critics questioned his authenticity. The media labeled him manufactured. People accused him of stealing. Others mocked his fashion, name, even his presence in hip-hop. It was brutal. And here's the kicker. Ice was just 23 years old, still figuring out who he was as an artist and person, while the world dissected him. Spotlight burns bright. After his rapid rise, Vanilla Ice faced a steep fall. Follow-up albums didn't connect. Image changes confused fans and critics. The public that once sang along now laughed. He became the joke, the one-hit wonder, the fluke. What people missed was the pain behind the persona, the pressure to stay relevant, the isolation of being misunderstood, the depression. In 1994, it all came to a head.
Alright, so here we got a modern kitchen. We put in an 18-foot backsplash window. We had to hold the whole roof up and concrete above it to up. It was pretty vast. But
He survived, but that moment changed him. He realized he needed to stop chasing validation from a world that didn't care about him as a person. He needed to rediscover who Robert Van Winkle really was. The reinvention, from music to mindset. The late 1990s and early 2000s were quiet for Vanilla Ice in the mainstream. But behind...
Right, well, you know, it's my song, so more pressure than I'm in this competition because, you know, it's my song. If I myself on my own song, I got to go bury my head like an ostrich.
Behind the scenes, he was rebuilding, not just a career, but a life. He went to therapy, got clean, left toxic fame behind, and focused on his passions. One was real estate. Vanilla Ice became a successful home flipper. He learned construction, architecture, and design. He wasn't just a name on a project, he was laying tiles and swinging hammers. In 2010, he launched the Vanilla Ice Project on DIY Network, a home renovation show that ran for 9 seasons. It was a hit, not just for the projects, but for Ice himself. Touring again, not chasing trends but connecting with loyal fans. Embraced nostalgia, the fun of the 90s, and made peace with his past. He appeared on shows like Dancing with the Stars and The Surreal Life, showing a side that could laugh, evolve, and entertain.
stuff like memorabilia around the walls and whatnot. Ninja Turtles, Ninja Go.
And impact more than a song. Say what you want about Vanilla Ice, but here's the truth. He opened doors. Before Eminem and before white rappers went mainstream, Vanilla Ice took heat, made mistakes, and forced conversations about race and representation in hip-hop. He survived, an industry that chews people up. He didn't fade away. He reinvented himself. Success isn't just how high you rise, it's how you handle the fall. Today, Vanilla Ice is not just a performer. He's a businessman, father, builder, and a man who found peace beyond the noise. He gives back, stays humble, and encourages others to embrace who they are, flaws and all. What can we learn from Vanilla Ice? His story isn't about perfection.
I love all the new technology, you know, like everything, you know, the one where you touch it and it would turn on. You don't have to touch it anymore. You just stick your hand in there. That way it's touchless in your phone.
It's about persistence. How many of us have been laughed at for trying something new? Felt like outsiders? Struggled with mental health, mistakes, or pressure to be someone? Vanilla Ice shows it's okay to fall. What matters is what you do next. He faced criticism head-on. He rebuilt after failure. He never gave up on himself, even when the world did. His journey proves redemption is possible. Reinvention is powerful. Authenticity is the greatest gift you can offer. Ice still baby, but cooler than ever. From misunderstood rapper to respected entrepreneur, Vanilla Ice's story is one you don't just read, you feel. It's raw, real, and inspiring. Next time you hear Ice Ice Baby on a playlist, remember, behind that beat is a man who dared to dream, crashed hard, got back up, and...
All right, so here we got a modern kitchen. We put in an 18-foot backsplash window. We had to hold the whole roof up and concrete above it to up. It was pretty vast. But
still kept dancing. Inspired by this journey? Subscribe for more real-life stories of grit, grind, and glory from artists who refuse to quit.